But man, did we have a fun game last night, and it was very high intensity, very fun to watch, very entertaining, and I will take more of them. Warriors, Lakers, Curry with 37. They do beat the Lakers. What might be a playoff preview. Hello. Pajemski, guy you just saw, 28, 8, and 6. LeBron finishes with 33, 5, and 9. Luka off night, but Reeves, woo, there he is, 31 points in the end. If this was, in fact, a playoff preview, Chandler, what did that tell you about what we might see here in a few weeks?
That it would be awesome, that it would go 6 or 7 games, that both these teams are experienced, both these teams have a lot of weapons. The matchups would be, unbelievable. And I think it's a great matchup across the board. When you look at guys like Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler to be matched up with LeBron James, Steph Curry and Austin Reeves, and then Jimmy and Draymond, whoever's not guarding LeBron is guarding Luka. So it would be so fun. It would be so exciting. 2 legendary franchises in the first round. It would be an unbelievable treat. I still, after last night watching it, the Warriors look great, and it does look like a favorable matchup for them, but I wouldn't know who to pick just yet in this series. I think the Lakers are going to make adjustments. I think Luka is going to be better. He's not often he's going to go 0 for 6 from 3. He's got to start being a little bit more consistent. But, man, this would be – even the end of this game when it was like a 10-point game,
Yes.
Guys are coming back. It felt like an all-star game. They're just dropping, hitting crazy threes, playing fast. It would be the series of the year for sure. It's just a shame it might be first round.
I think that's my biggest complaint, Lou, is like, if this is first round, I'm going to whine that it's the first round.
It'll be about. I haven't seen guys on the floor so much in a basketball game in so long, from Steph Curry hurting his tailbone, LeBron having a groin problem. Like, everybody was on the floor. This almost was a preview of what would it be like if these teams stay in that 4 and that 5 spot and have to play each other in that first round. Neither team was laying down. You got a lot of great production from a lot of different guys on both sides of the basketball for both basketball teams. It was an exciting basketball game to watch. And Chandler just said it. Luka's going to play better. He's going to, when the bright lights are on, Luka's going to be present. He's never going to have another game where he's not going to make a three-pointer in one of those games. He's going to get his reps up. But this is a great game to watch last night, highly entertaining, and a great sample size of what's to come if they stay in that spot.
Guys are just straight up jinxing Luka. Never going to happen again. Now it's definitely going to happen again, you guys. I don't know why you're doing that. By the way, if you look at the middle of the standings in the Western Conference, it's actually quite rude. Like, it's just jumbled up. It's a mess. And so now I'm wondering, I kind of want to ask this in a weird way. So hear me out. Lou, it's not going to be, do you avoid, do you try to get whoever. But if you're the Lakers, are you more excited to see Golden State? Or if you're Golden State, would you be more excited to see the Lakers?
I don't think either. I think they should. I think both of these teams should do everything at all costs to avoid each other for a first round matchup. If I'm the Lakers and I'm a half game out of third, I'm doing everything I can to string together the next few of these games to try to fight like hell and get Denver's spot in that third and get matched up with Memphis going into these playoffs. I do not want to see the Golden State Warriors and go through a grueling 7-game series that this would turn out to be. Then on the flip side, if I'm the Golden State Warriors, I don't want to see this team either. Even though that the winning percentages swings Golden State's way when it comes to the personal matchup with LeBron and just Steph Curry, but all other guys considered, this is going to be a battle on both sides. So after last night, if I'm both of these teams, everybody's ducking for the first round.
Yeah, and by the way, like pick your poison, right? You get the 3rd seed, great. You pass Denver, and then what? You get rewarded with Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like there isn't really a right answer here. I think once we get closer to 1 or 2 games left, and then you can maybe properly rest, for one of those games to kind of see what happens. Maybe not try as hard to win a game to try and get the favorable matchup you want. But there's not really a right answer here. The West is so stacked, and I love a season like this that comes down to the wire. You don't know who you're playing. The East is pretty much set right outside the play-in. Might shuffle around a little bit, but you pretty much know. This, you could go from home court to the play-in within the next week and a half, which is awesome, and it makes for the full season of just intensity and great basketball. And you're going to see some playoff atmosphere, some playoff games the last 2 weeks of the season going into it just to try and get these matchups. So it's crazy, but there's not really a right answer. If I had to pick, I don't want to play. If I'm the Lakers and I'm the Warriors, I don't want to play each other first round. These teams are both good. These teams have literally turned themselves from the beginning of the season to now contenders. And it'd be a shame if they play the first round, but like I said, it'd be special.
Is it the greatest first round series that we've seen in a while? I mean, I can't think of a better possible in recent years, anyways.
I mean, I can't think of a one between the two franchises and the star power. And yeah, I think it would be one of the best ever.
Man, I don't know if the league hates it or loves the idea of it being in the first round. I can't figure that out. You guys talked about Luka. Not great. He said that the performance was unacceptable. When he plays like that, it makes it harder to win. So we got to figure it out. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But what do you do, Chandler, to figure it out? Like, why does a game like that happen?
Well, I think just in general, the Lakers need to play faster. They have some real athletes. They're the 20th fastest team in the NBA, which they're too good. They're too athletic. They're too good in transition to be getting bogged down and playing slow. And I think sometimes Luka kind of gets a little stagnant when they're in the half court like that. When he's out free flowing, early pick and rolls, lob threats at the rim, finding guys with his vision is what he does best. They're not doing that as much as they should. Then they get caught in the half court, they slow down, they're turning the ball over, and they're way less efficient. So when you see clips like this, when they get out, they can run, they find their matchups, they get early pick and roll, they get switches, then they get downhill on guys, is when this offense is the best. And again, 0 for 6 is, I don't think that's going to happen very often. And it seems like he hasn't got his legs fully back yet. It seems like he's been struggling from the three since he's been a Laker. Honestly, he's had some big games, but he's had some poor shooting performances too. He's going to get better. He's going to continue to take better shots. But I think they just need to play faster. And I think that'll kind of solve a lot of their problems.
Yeah. And for me, for Luka, he's got to focus on just trying to score the basketball. Like last night, if you watch his clips, he's doing a lot of foul baiting, like trying to get fouled or looking for guys' arms, rip throughs and all of that, jumping up in the air without control of his body, looking for fouls. That's like his first option. That has to be the second and third option of him whenever the offense breaks down. But your first look down the court, like you just said, when they're playing at an open pace, that should be your style of basketball game. You should fit right in. But when you're coming down in the half court, looking for fouls, worried about fouls as your first option, you're going to struggle on the offensive end. So if he can just go down, be himself, be aggressive on the offensive end, trying to score the basketball naturally, he'll be fine. He'll be just fine. I think last night he spent too much time with trying to draw fouls opposed to just going out and getting a bucket.
Is that like a snowball effect? Like for a guy like Luka, if you're having an off night and then you start going with that strategy, which nobody wants to watch, by the way, do you just kind of get stuck in your own little like wake and you can't get out of your own way, Lou? Because it feels like that's what happens and they just got ugly.
Yeah, it like you just said, it snowballs. It's just one possession after another. And now don't think for a second if you miss a call, like if you don't get one, now you're making it a point to try to get one back. You know, there was a point in the game where Steph Curry got a call where they felt like he was kicking his leg out. For the next 2 or 3 possessions, Luka was on a mission to get 3 free throws out of the next possession, after the next possession, after the next possession, eventually getting it. So those are games inside of the games. But again, when you're not being efficient, you want to just go score the basketball. You don't want to get into these games inside the games where the referees, or like I said, where you're worried about foul baiting. Just go out there and score the basketball and be the natural scorer that you are.
Guys, are you ready for it? I didn't want to have to do this today, but we got to go to hot headlines. And I cannot believe we're having this conversation again. Well, let's start with the good. Ja